welcome my Cancerian collective Sun, Moon, Rising Venus signs. Welcome to your timeless romantic soulmate contract read being recorded in September 2021. I am your reader, Angelo Lyons, Mal for short, professional witch, professional intuitive, president of Drawing the Circle Production since 1998, author of Words of Grace, from a professional witch, available on Kindle. Links in the description box. The Archangel of Lyons, Angelo Lyons, but you can call me Mal. And if I haven't mentioned it in previous Cancerian videos, my mom's a Cancer. I was raised by one of you Cancer sun signs. So it is always my honor, my privilege, and my pleasure to serve my crab cakes. I have had a Cancerian woman in my life, every stage of it, not just my mom. So, lifetime case of crabs. What can I tell you? I'm better for it. So let's get up in this gig. 25 card spread, soul contract between you and another. There are tons of links in the description box going into the old as well as the newer definition of twin flame and soulmate. I highly recommend it, as well as I made a preface to this series of videos that I did back in June, right? So if you want to watch the preface, it explains this all a bit more. We're going to be doing a 3-lane read. You on this side, maybe your romantic soulmate contract partner there, and then we will have a center lane, the contract itself, where your energies are collaborating, cooperating, or maybe not so much. Both feet on the floor if you can. Focus on your breath if you will. It is a general read, right? So just tune in. You're Cancerians, you'll know what's yours. And and if you don't want a general read, if you want a specific read, there's a video called Booking a Reading with Mal that you can watch down there too that I made. And how to do it is easy. But what goes on before, during, and after for me, and more what's going on for the client. Is that about it? All the decks that I read are always in the bottom of the description box, right? Both feet on the floor if you can. Focus on your breath if you will. If anything else they want me to explain, I will be glad to do so. It's been a very powerful morning, first reading of the day, but a lot of spiritual practice, breath work. Oh, this is the day after Maven, autumnal equinox in September 2021, because this is timeless. You'll be watching this years from now. Yeah, so let's do it, my crab cakes. Please take a nice deep breath. Yeah, here we go. I call upon my collective pantheons of angels, archangels, goddesses, gods, ascended masters of soulmate contract law, and the higher selves of all involved in this happy, healthy, wealthy, wise, intimate, sexual, satisfying soulmate contract for the Cancerian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs, their higher selves, 5th dimension and above, 8th chakra and above. Speaking of the 8th chakra, 3 Caroline Myss archetype cards, please, and I'll explain this now and hopefully won't have to say it over and over and over in this reading. One, for the one we're going to say, is the Cancer, with full understanding that they may show up on this site as well. The 8th chakra dynamics for the Cancerian, the partner, and the state of the contract itself. So for the Cancerian 8th chakra dynamic, what's the archetype kind of governing the show, controlling all the other chakras beneath it, giving them, it's where downloads come from, right? Is that 8th chakra, the one that they're in the partnership with, as well as the state. I'll take that one. I don't often take flippers. Oh, but that's, you know what it is already. It's already in the title. So let's see what you've got here that do make sense. Okay, so we've got you as the gambler here, as the Cancerian, but this could be you too. They can flip-flop. These can even be aspects of your divine masculine energy, your divine feminine energy, but only you are going to know that in a general read. I can't tell you that. The Damsel, so the gambler is the action family archetype. The Damsel is the feminine, one of the feminine family archetypes, I should say. And the state of the contract is the bully. You're both confronting fears, or being a bully about it by concealing your fears, and we will get there in a minute. Let's talk about the gambler, sort of like the card of the Fool, at least in the imagery here, right? It's that idea of stepping off a cliff, not looking where you're going, but in this case, walking a tightrope. The shadow to light here is something that we all have to take a gamble, right? Every day you step out of bed, it's a gamble. as well as staying in bed is a gamble at that point. So the shadow, what you're dealing with here, if you are the gambler, the one with the gambler archetype, relying on luck rather than hard work. Something we all fall prey to here, there, and everywhere. The light attribute, willingness to follow intuition even when others doubt you. And I think that's why this bully thing, it may not be that you're bullying each other, but there might be like the chapter that you're both in. There's a bit of bullying, and like I said, we'll get there. My eyes keep going towards it. I never take jumpers when they just pop out of the deck, but they said take it, so I did. The Damsel is very much a romantic archetype for a member of the feminine family, as I said. The shadow attribute of the Damsel, waiting for a knight to provide for you. It's only how things went for like thousands of years. The conditioning might still be in place subconsciously, or not so subconsciously, right? Seduction by romantic delusions, romantic delusions, which, come on, right? It's, if you were raised in Western civilization in the past 100 years, you probably got a lot of it. When did Disney start? I mean, not like Disney started it, but you know, even listen to the classics, the romantic classics, right, of how romance is supposed to be and that it's supposed to last forever, and nothing lasts forever in this world, right? So where do you catch the light on this? What the Damsel is shooting for here, understanding the nature of healthy romance. Now, just that right there, the nature, to understand, to digest, solar plexus, the grace of understanding. It's in my book, Words of Grace. Oh, please, the garbage truck is coming. I will pause this because this is way too important to have that in the background, unless it's a neighbor backing up with their truck. Can you imagine the ability to digest, understand the nature of healthy romance? I think that's still being revealed to us, actually, as an evolving race, human race, inspiring you to rely on yourself. And I always go back to Drew Barrymore in Ever After, if you haven't seen the movie. Angelica Houston as the wicked stepmother is pretty supreme. I mean, it's Angelica Houston. Her and Meryl, they just can't do anything wrong, apparently. Blessed be. So, you know, the Damsel and the Gambler, come on, this is an ancient story, right? You could trace this back thousands and thousands of years, but the bully archetype. Now, I'm not really getting, this may be true, you might be bullying yourselves internally, not really looking at it. I don't think that there's a bully relationship here, but I do feel like maybe because of social norms, which are changing rapidly, something, maybe tribal dictates on either or both sides of your families or your tribes, your friends, that there's something bullying you both here. The shadow attribute conceals deep fear behind verbal or physical abuse. Now, that's what I'm saying. If this is a same-sex relationship, if this is a polyamorous relationship, if this is, you know, anything that's like out of the tribal norm, and those things are changing, but they're not changing fast enough for a lot of people, and I get that too, there may be deep fears of people that you're dealing with here, and dealing with verbal and physical abuse. Now, if one of you is doing that, you walk away. But this is a soulmate contract read. This is not a twin flame. Soulmates, you help each other heal through quantum entanglement. It doesn't mean you live together happily ever after, forever and ever more, necessarily. But you're going to help each other heal here. That's what a soulmate, that's why I watch the links below. The new definition made by Matt Kahn is genius of twin flame and soulmate. And he got it from something higher. You know, it's not like he was scratching his head one day and came up with it himself, came through him. The light attributes highlights your tendency to intimidate others, helps you confront the inner fears that bully you. And that's, I think, the deal. I think that's the T. If there's a closet situation going on here, the gambler, right? Someone saying, screw it, I'm coming out. I don't care if everybody doubts me, or I'm going to follow my gut, follow my intuition, which can be a voice of the soul, not just an instinct thing. And a damsel sort of saying, you know what? I'm going to take care of me. I'm going to do this a healthy way, or I'm not going to do it at all. In some situation like that. Okay, we've got our basic template. Everything else on top of that will be laid out now, really clarifying this. So if you're not exactly sure who you are in this yet, you most likely will be. We're going to take 5 Daughters of the Moon Tarot to clarify that gambler. And come here, Mythic Tarot. 5 Mythic Tarot for the Damsel. fire, earth, air, water, spirit, the element spreads. Please take a nice deep breath. We're going to get all 10 of them down, face down first, and then we'll turn them over element by element simultaneously. One more nice deep breath. As I call upon my goddesses of water, the sign of Cancer, and the powers of the West, my goddesses, please. 5 cards, element spread, for this gambler archetype in this Cancerian Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign contract, element of fire. What is this the gambler yearns for, burns for? Their heart's desire. I know it's a little humid today. I really gave the cards a good shuffle before we hit record. So please leave that card. Their element of fire. What they yearn for. What they burn for. What their heart's desire. One came out, I guess that's why they're doing kickers. They're like, it'll take too long. Element of earth. What is the fuel that they have to feed the fire to manifest their heart's desire? What's their element of air? What they're thinking, which fire needs air? What are they thinking about? Their heart's desire, what they yearn for, what they burn for. Their element of water, and these are water signs we're talking about. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign. What is their element of water there? How they're feeling about what they yearn for, what they burn for, what their heart's desire. And the card of spirit, the POV, the point of view of the soul, the higher dimensional, internal divinity within them. What's their point of view? In this soulmate contract. Let's do the same for the gambler. Then, like I said, we'll turn over both fires simultaneously and so on. Breathe. As I call upon my gods of water, the sign of Cancer, and the powers of the West, please, again, element spread, fire, earth, air, water, spirit, for this damsel archetype in this Cancerian collective. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs watching this video, receiving this reading, or cross-watching, whatever. The damsel's element of fire, what they yearn for, what they burn for, their heart's desire. Their element of earth, the fuel to feed the fire, to manifest the heart's desire. The element of air. The element of air, which must be there for the fire, their heart's desire to exist as thought does feed desire, right? So we'll put that there. Their element of water, again, in a Cancerian thing, if there's the Cancerian in particular, what's the element of water? What they're really feeling here in terms of what they yearn for, what they burn for, their heart's desire, and of course their card of spirit. The voice or point of view of the soul who incarnated to play the role in this Cancerian contract. The majority of the cards are on the table. Everything that's left is a healing system and a bunch of oracles. So let's tarot, shall we, my crablets? Element of fire. Well, major arcana cards right out of the deck. You got the High Priestess on this side with the Gambler, and the Tower, Poseidon, the Earthshaker. Let's start with her. The Gambler here, talk about intuition, talk about keeping it a secret. This is a desire to be really in alignment. This is the Maiden of the Maiden, Mother and Crone, and the Daughters of the Moon Tarot. So the High Priestess Isis, this is before pregnancy with Horus. Long story. Old story too, by the way, if you're unfamiliar with it. So there is a purity, there is a virginity here. There is a real coming into alignment with something other than the mental aspect of it, right? The divine feminine in its purity and its innocence and in its unowned. Virgin originally meant, and really still does, unowned, not just unmarried, ring on the finger, but like unowned property that's never been touched, virgin property, virgin land. You get what I'm saying. Olive oil. Run with it. For the damsel, though, you want this to change now. You want some kind of lightning bolt to strike here. Maybe it's an insight. Maybe it's a physical thing. Or maybe it's just you guys lowering the boom. You just want to tell everybody, this is who we are. This is what we're doing. Back up. right? You gotta come for us, you better sharpen your claws. I'm sorry, I've been on Bob the Drag Queen jag the past couple of days. I watch their stuff on YouTube all the time. What do you think? We do this all day long, and they're like, what? Meditate the rest of the day? Oh, no, no, no. Honey, no. I was raised by a Cancerian. My creature comforts are few but delicious. Trixie and Katya, all of that stuff. So, look, Major Arcana jumping out here. What you both want, it's like the gambler is like, maybe not just yet, right? There are secrets here. Maybe to keep the secret a little bit longer. But the damsel's like, can we just fucking get on with this? Can we just get on with it already? Oh my god, I'm sitting in this tower waiting for you. I can get my own self out. Right? That's what they're shooting for. Well, what they have, all right. The gambler here has the Five of Flames, the Five of Swords, definitely a conflict card, except in this deck, the Four of Flames is literally written on the card conflict. This is Pele. Pele, the volcano. Don't screw with her. This is not just internal conflicting desires. This is the next step. This is things getting ready to blow. So I do feel like there's going to be what the gambler has to get what they want here is, in a way, to channel all of that pent up passion, right? Because it's going to lead to the Six of Flames. The next card in this deck is Play. The Seven of Flames, Victory. So there is a progression here, but they might also really be dealing with, it's like, I am so angry, and I'm so frustrated, and I don't know how much you know that place I'm talking about, right? You're like, I want to key somebody's car, I want to burn down the village. I always use those as examples. Thankfully, the damsel here is much more calm, cool, and collected here, presenting themselves as the Queen of Swords, the Aquarian card here, seeing things from a larger perspective. You know, I just get a vibe off of this, of the damsel really being in support of the gambler here by saying, honey, I get it. Why don't we just lower the boom, right? We can do it. I don't just do it right now. But let's just speak the truth and let the chips fall where they may, right? Because the people who love us are going to love us, and the people who don't aren't, and that says everything about them and nothing about us, right? Something along like that Aquarian, pulled back, larger picture, we are the world, we are the children, Link Pink's Hands Across America, you know what I'm talking about. That egalitarian thing there, particularly if the damsel is more first of all, perhaps wanting to break away from some tribal dictate here. And if you don't know what I mean by tribal dictate, I mean, look at the different tribes you belong to. Not just your genetic family, right? And the rules and regulations to abide and obey, which a lot of them are ancient and not helpful. Interesting, but not helpful. So I like this. I like this vibe. And look, if you're the gambler, that's okay. You can want to keep this secret for a little bit longer, but you got to find something to do with that element of fire, particularly if it's passion towards the damsel, a way of doing this. It's just, this kind of says also in a way that there's a little sneaky, but we'll really see that in these next two. Let's look. Well, you got a double whammy, High Priestess here. Let's start with the damsel. The damsel on this side, on her mind, is about these deeper secrets, is about keeping this quiet, perhaps. But also bringing through, perhaps, in this word is, I think, getting overused more and more downloads. Like really downloading from the 8th chakra, something secret, something sacred, but a truth, an insight that she will keep to herself. And by the way, this is Persephone underground, which she's underground now as of May, been autumnal equinox yesterday at the time of this recording, but where she is still the virgin, the Persephone, the Kore, the maiden of spring, technically the summer lady by the time she goes down at autumnal equinox, but like her daisies are wilting, but now she will become queen. There is a deeper secret thing there going on in their minds. Now, there does give me pause here. There may be secrets and stuff being withheld between the two of you. And that's why if the damsel doesn't know about this deep-seated fire building up, ready to blow, then that might be a concern, therefore feeding fears, right? I just want to get that right. Confront inner fears that bully you. Over here, The Gambler is weighing their options. Here, the Two of Flames, Mahueha. I mean, they know what they want. They just might not know how to do it, right? I get that vibe. And it's frustrating them. It's building up. It's like in the mind, it's like, well, I want to do that, but if we do that, that's going to happen. And if we do that, apprehension. Apprehension, particularly if people doubt this Gambler on the regular, particularly in terms of their intuition. Look, honey, muggles don't usually understand that intuition doesn't get you what you want. It gets you what you need, right? The soul, it gives you what you need to feed the soul. I mean, yeah, it can guide you to all the happiness, health, wealth, and wisdom, but when you're ready for it, right? It's not I Dream a Genie, it's not Bewitched, it's not Charmed. I mean, it's a charmed life. La Dolce Vita. Let's see the element of water here. Well, I have to say the major arcana cards keep coming here. The Gambler is feeling the Empress here. We said the High Priestess is the maiden. This is the mother, the divine feminine energy. Feeling the wife, right? Feeling the divine feminine, feeling all the queens of the tarot amalgamated into one. The Spirit Queen, the Empress here. Great fertility, great unconditional love. Remember, this has nothing to do with bodily gender, particularly on my channel. And here in the emotions of the Damsel is the Two of Pentacles. So interesting. Two of Flames on this side, element of air. Two of Pentacles this side, element of earth, but in the water phase there, right? In the element of water. So fire in air and earth in water, which are complementary opposites, by the way. I feel like the unconditional love here, it's being felt. And two major arcana cards, literally the Maiden and the Mother card, we're looking at a very powerful fire-water dynamic there. But there's still some balancing going on here, hence maybe some of the High Priestess stuff going on in the element of air. And I don't know if that was let's see, is that cough for them or is that cough for me? Because with the High Priestess, eventually the High Priestess, if you want a healthy relationship, that healthy romance has to say, this is how we really feel. And though you may be all in and you're afraid to jump, I just want you to jump so that we can move on to this next phase, because I'm still figuring this out. Both of you might be very apprehensive, though, even though it's sort of like, can we just lower the boom here? Or at least someone's going to speak a truth that's going to change everything. Spirit. Okay, the major arcana keep coming. We're going to start with the Gambler. So the soul of the one with the Gambler archetype is the Nine of Flames, the Nine of Wands, certainly the wounded warrior. Did you touch my sticks, right? But in this deck called the Wanderer, woman with a wagon. It might be Romani, I have to say. The artwork, it's generalized, but it does look like more like Eastern European, right? All of her stuff, she got her act together. She's taking it on the road. She's got 9 of these flames. She wants that 10th. And right over the ridge, the sun. We can't tell if it's rising or setting, but definitely that thing of, I'm going to go after my thing. I'm going to go after my thing, but may need to be a little on their guard, is a nice way to say it. And here, for the one with the Damsel archetype, we have Hermes as the Psychopomp, the Guide of Souls, the Judgment card. Something is being revealed to them spiritually. I do think it is more visionary intuition, 8th chakra stuff dropping down into the lower chakras, about them really taking care of themselves, right? About being whole and complete unto themselves. Keep in mind that High Priestess, the High Priestess only answers to the gods. Okay, yeah, there may be, well, they're the High Priestess, right? There'd be nobody above the High Priestess, and the High Priest at best is an equal, right? And her husband is Hades, king of the underworld, Lord of the dead. So, you know, she gets to travel, he doesn't, pretty much. So there is an independence there. There is an unowned, and that might be the Two of Pentacles there, particularly for Cancerians. Everybody thinks they're immediate nesters. Again, either side of this can be the Cancerian watching this. But they're also fiercely independent in terms of their own homes, right? Their own terrain, emotionally as well as physically. Raised by one. So we've got really our two parties in the contract here, party number 1, party number 2. Let's clarify now. We've got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3 oracles, 4 oracles, and a Matt Kahn healing mantra card. Come here, you. One tried to sneak away. The higher selves of all involved. The Whispers of Love Oracle, the Party Turner deck. Your higher selves. Please take a nice deep breath. Because this is a different plug-in. There we go. As I call upon the higher selves of all involved, 5th dimension and above, 8th chakra and above. What's the whisper of love in this Cancerian collective? Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs watching this video, receiving this reading's timeless romantic soulmate read. Oh, there are 3 of them, but nope, not gonna do it. Tempted, but no. Please, what's the whisper of love for the higher self of the one with the gambler archetype face down? What's the whisper of love? Piece of information, inspiration, insight needed here from the higher self of the one with the damsel archetype, and of course both of them together in the state of the contract, which is now going to really be the focus of this read. What's going on here in the center lane? What's the whisper of love from both of their higher selves, 5th dimension and above, 8th chakra and above? Bam. Stay on your stone slab. Let's see. Oh dear. Okay. Okay, all right. The gambler's got new love. Now, I will say it goes there. Embrace this new opportunity of love that is here. This may pertain to work opportunities or spiritual growth. In other words, it's not just about romance, but this is a romantic soulmate read. Now, in terms of this being new, I'm going to say new love can also be renewal of love, particularly because we have the Judgment card there in that, which can certainly be a reconciliation, right? A final decision of how this is going to go, at least moving forward. So this can really be that, this gambler taking a risk. By the way, at the time of this recording, what's today, the 23rd? Yeah, 3 or 4 days from now, Mercury goes retrograde. So keep an eye on ex-lover flash flood. It happens to me 3 times a year. They just come out of the woodwork. I'm like, are you watching the astrology? They're like, I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm like, good, I do. And I can understand you wanting to then maybe keep a little tight-lipped on this to really go through what you're wanting to really make sure you're doing this intuitively. Well, I mean, in particular, if you're entangled in another contract, that I could see being a little sneaky, although we don't have the 7 of blades on the table. We don't have the 7 of swords. For the damsel, the only thing that is real is love. Shift your focus from the problem to love. Now, that's a little new agey. I get it. It can seem like pablum to people who've been doing this stuff for a while, but to turn your attention to love. The only thing that is real is love. Now, that's a spiritual law. It's not just an affirmation, right? Love is the truth of who we are. That's why I do all this path to true love stuff. It's just another way of saying your spiritual awakening, but in a very heart-centered way, using your relationships as a means to spiritual awakening, not just the end to being lonely, because it never works out that way. If you've noticed, right? The end of your pain being somebody else. No bueno. It doesn't work. Only you do you heal you, and then you help each other heal. So there's something here about a shift of perspective, right? It literally says shift your focus from the problem back to love. So whatever this problem is, I think that Judgment card of the soul is going to give that insight. But the damsel has to be willing. She might still be juggling that a little bit, but I do think that could be that lightning bolt that just, at least within the damsel's energy system. I think this might be the garbage truck, and if it is, I will pause this. I'm just hoping it's not. But before then, the bully, right, this center lane, both of your higher selves are saying actions speak loudly. Express your love through actions. Now, there are cards of communication in this deck, so I don't think this is just saying something. I think this is about actually doing something here, but you are both confronting your inner fears about it. Like if this is just as simple as a soul contract where you two have just met in this lifetime, the romantic soulmate contracts are the hardest one, even though you help each other heal. Because, you do that with family members and friends too, but this is the romantic variety. It might be that, this one doesn't want to take the risk, this one doesn't want to give up her independence, but it's to be revealed. I mean, I would say at this point, what's on the table, give it a shot, but we're not done. Now we're going deep. Let's say, the Kuan Yin Oracle. What does Kuan Yin have to say about all of this? She's going to be truthful, but she's going to be compassionate. Right? Let's book this. This will be the divine feminine energy for both of you. State of the contract of the divine feminine, the goddess aspect of the contract. Please take a nice deep breath. A beautiful pink light. I love you, Kuan Yin. Please, my beloved Bodhisattva, goddess of compassion, contentment, and divine love. Please, one card in clarity for this Cancerian collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs watching this video, receiving this reading using your oracle. What is your piece of guidance and grace for this Cancerian contract, a gambler and a damsel in a bully contract? The Lotus Throne. Want one? The Lotus Throne. Card number 37. Going to use the magnifying glass for some of this. I don't think I need to do it for all of it, though. Just the initial italics seem to be in nano font, micro font, not to be confused with the hiero font. Did that rhyme? I think that rhymed. Comment below if it did, whatever. The Lotus Throne. The same lotus wisdom that enlightens beloved Kuan Yin and all spiritual masters is the very same lotus light within your own heart, beloved. All right. So a message for both of you from Kuan Yin. The answers are within, but the love you're really seeking and the love that you really need is the love inside of you. Keeping in mind, you don't want to pressure the other person here to speed up or slow down. But as you accept that within yourself, you chill out, you heal, and through the quantum entanglement of a soulmate contract, they heal too, but it's not trying to heal them against their will. Lotus light within your own heart, beloved. Right. It can take great courage to trust your own inner light, to ascend the throne of your own inner spiritual authority, especially if the light of others around you seems more powerful than your own, particularly if you're being bullied by people, places, and or things. Like the current state of global health, you know what I'm talking about. You're being asked to trust this inner guidance above all others now. Have faith in your own heart. Know that you are divine. We're going to do the prayer at the end of that, but I can see that on both sides here to an extent. Stronger with the gambler. I mean, literally, has the divine mother, right? The empress in the emotional field. That might be more for that one. But for this one too, right? It's like the throne, the lotus throne, to really come from that loving, compassionate place. But then, of course, with that would come the heart's wisdom. That's the intro. Come on, let me give you the prayer. Let's actually do this for realsies. Please take a nice deep breath. Speak it through me, Kuan Yin, please. Prayer of the Lotus Throne. Burn bright in my heart, guiding me eternally, divine lotus of light, my very own heart. I ascend the lotus throne within you. My power, my wisdom, my love and light acknowledged. All is well within my own soul by Kuan Yin's grace and my own divine fire. I trust and empower myself spiritually now more than ever. Om Mani Padme Hum, the jewel in the center of the lotus. This is powerful. And of course will engender a healthier action being taken here. I mean, look, if this is tribal stuff with family, that you're from different lineages, whatever. I mean, Romeo and Juliet redo, whatever. To do this in a loving way, right? Because to confront bullies with threats, I mean, you have to stand up to them. There's an alchemy to the bully archetype. The bully is really the coward in the shadow, right? It's not really two separate archetypes. So to stand up to them, but to stand up with them with love and to take action in that way. Because at the end of the day, this is your soul contract, not theirs. A little tricky and gotcha thrown in there to lighten the mood. Okay, so that's the Divine Feminine, the Lotus Throne. We're gonna go the Divine Masculine now, the Blue Angel Oracle, the Archangel Michael deck, let's face it, the kind, cute quarterback of the Archangels. Please take a nice deep breath. So cute. As I call upon Archangel Michael, please, Archangel, angels of Archangel of the South, the powers of fire, truth, the will of the divine, one who is like God. Please, one card in clarity for the masculine energy here, the more yang aspect, the more action aspect, particularly with action, speak loudly here. What do you got here? What is your oracle wisdom for this Cancerian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign, gambler and damsel in a bully contract? Read here your input for them. A Night on Earth, magical new beginning. This is a lovely card. I mean, none of them suck. I love Blue Angel Publishing. I would totally do a deck with them if I had the time, the energy, and the creativity to pull it off, and the support team. Card number 8, A Night on Earth, a magical new beginning. These aren't terribly long, but again, microfont. Sorry, my hair is coming out. Must you have the little beep beep noise? Thank you. A Night on Earth, magical new beginning. This card symbolizes the start of something new. A magical experience unfolds which allows you to move forward safely and with confidence. Yeah, let me use it. The path is clear and nothing can stop you now except your own negative thoughts. Let go of any old ways of thinking and trust. Your future will not be the same as the past. Life is full of possibilities. Believe it, and it shall be so. Inside there is a knowing that embraces all knowledge. Live through this knowing, and life will seem like an endless blessing. You deserve to be and have all that your heart desires. And this is definitely for both of you in terms of taking this action. Keep your face always towards the sunshine, and shadows will fall behind you. Walt Whitman. Been to the mall. If you're from Long Island, you'll get that joke. Look, a night on Earth, this new beginning. It does feel like the setting of one sun preparing to rise for another. So this is a magical time that you are in. I think if you may be separated from each other, I mean, do you get that Romeo Juliet vibe going on here? Something about, you know, the Montagues and the Capulets here not getting along. But also there's something brand new here, but as the card did say, a lot of what's blocking you here are just your own thoughts. Now, not to ignore them, but isn't that what we're looking about, right? This center lane, that bully archetype, facing the fears that bully you, how you bully yourself, particularly through the fear of the future in terms of anticipation. The ego is always at war. It worries, anticipates, and regrets. Literally gets you coming and going. The soul is raw. It respects, acknowledges, and welcomes. So do the love. Give yourself that love, right? The only thing that's real that's love here, and this is a new love for the gambler, so work this out within yourselves. I wouldn't be surprised if there's communication here, but I would be surprised if it was open and honest. This is how I really feel, because first of all, you're Cancerians. At least one of you is, right? And the other is the double whammy of the High Priestess, and the element of fire here wants to keep it secret. In the case of air here, thinking in order to go in and access that Lotus Throne. This is great. Makes sense. Yeah, I would say all the appropriate pieces of the puzzle are on the table. We can make some conclusions here, but before we do, let's get our last oracle, and then we'll get you the mantra. This is hard. It's a heart-shaped deck. All right. Nirvana flashback. Hey, wait. I've got a real complaint. Breathe. As I call upon the pantheons of lovers of all systems, all lineages, all traditions, the love gods, the love goddesses, the love angels, the love spirits of all y'all. Please, one card in clarity using the Lover's Oracle. Tony Carmine Salerno's deck, also from Blue Angel. I'm not getting paid for this. I'm just saying it because I love them. So what is the love oracle you have for this Cancerian collective? Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign, happy, healthy, wealthy, wise, intimate, sexual, romantic, soulmate, gambler, damsel in a bully contract. This timeless, romantic soulmate contract read. Don't make decisions based on guilt or what you think you should do, for it is only in being true to yourself that you can be true to others. I think this is absolutely backing up. Why does it look like his name is Topher? Topher. He just looks like his name is Topher. I don't know why. I'm just saying so. You're now the Topher card. Get Topher some tofu. Yeah, this is about being authentic. You guys are going to have to bust a move. This is for both of you, not just one of you here. Don't make your decisions based on guilt or what you think you should do. Oh, but if I do that, it's really going to upset Grandma. She'll cope or she won't, right? The soulmate contracts coming together are really important for the healing and evolution of life on planet Earth. Just saying, because imagine everybody meeting their happy, healthy, wealthy, wise, intimate soulmate contract partner, reason, seasoner for the rest of their lifetime. They're going to be having too much fun to be getting up in each other's business in a harsh way. Everybody would be chill. Right? You got to be true to yourself so that you can be true to others. And it's fine to take your time with that. But this one is like, can we just pull the trigger on this? Let's just talk. Let's just say this. So there might be a little impatience on the damsel there. So, last card down, the Healing Mantra deck by Matt Kahn. I'm going to read it from the bookie book because it's a genius little bookie book. Breathe. Both feet on the floor, Mark. As I call upon the Ascended Masters of Romantic Soulmate Contract Law. Please bring up the file. Bring up the file. What is the perfect healing mantra for this Cancerian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign, happy, healthy, wealthy, wise, intimate, sexual, romantic, soulmate contract read between this gambler and this damsel in the bully phase of their contract, please? What's the perfect healing mantra for them to help them both through this? Deconstructing doubt. Only my beliefs are in my way, which is certainly backed up by Archangel Michael there, right? Got to go within to drink from your own heart, to ascend to your own throne there. Take the time to do this, to set you up for action, because you got to confront your fears. Totally makes sense. Deconstructing doubt, which means don't deny you're in doubt, which is a lot of da-da-das for one sentence. That's my mom. Nursery. It's a lot of da-da-das in one sentence, sweetheart. Only my beliefs are in my way. Deconstructing doubt. You have to acknowledge, yes, I have doubts. Maybe that's the conversation that would just like, yes, I have doubts because I've been burnt before. Who hasn't? Only my beliefs are in the way. As you deconstruct doubt, you are no longer lost in the concerns and curiosities of what if, but are more rooted in the truth of what is. And that you can know inside yourself just takes some focus. When doubt is deconstructed, hardship is no longer a sign of misfortune. That's it. That's okay, right? When that is so, I want to read that again, right? When doubt is deconstructed, hardship is no longer a sign of misfortune. It is an opportunity to speak up and be truthful and get it off your chest. That's my editorializing there. It is a sign of misfortune. It is an opportunity to step outside your comfort zone and meet the higher aspects of soul that exist just beyond the boundaries of the self. And that's the thing. You may not be able to anticipate this going in a really, really great way. Maybe one of you can, maybe one of you can't. I just feel like the onus is on the gambler to bust a move at least towards the damsel, right? Because I'm not ready yet. I will get there. I have doubts, but I'm willing to deconstruct them. This mantra is ideal for aligning with truth, being more self-actualized, and transforming inferiority, right? And that's the thing, but what will they think? That's why Keeping Up with the Joneses, or the Kardashians, whatever. I mean, that's the ego, right? It can feel inferior, it can feel superior. Rarely is it just feeling at peace. So just know that the ego, that might very much be what's going on here, particularly because of bully, particularly the antagonistic kind. I mean, we could talk narcissist another time, perhaps. Maybe they are, maybe they aren't. But make someone feel inferior, right? Boop, 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 boop. So their energy goes boop, 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 boop. Read Celestine Prophecy, James Redfield. You'll learn some of the energy dynamics of that. So yeah, all the cards are on the table here. I see it, you know? It's like the gambler really has to find, eventually the soul is saying, you're going to have to take that journey. If you really want to experience this, you have to complete the cycle of fire that you are in. Deal with this within, right? For the damsel here, certainly a judgment of the soul is going to reveal something here. But in the meantime, juggling out whether I want to be independent. New love, the only thing that's real is love in action. Speak loudly, speak to what needs to be done here. But also this going in, rising to the throne, really listening to your own heart's truth. Not when it's necessarily emotionally turbulent, because if there are thoughts getting in the way here, right, that don't make decisions based on guilt, maybe there is a tribal thing going on here for both of you, a racial thing, a political thing that is bullying you, maybe you're dealing with bullies in that sense, then taking this action is going to take a little bit longer, but ultimately, you can, only your thoughts are in the way. Only your thoughts, both of your thoughts are in the way. And with the amount of major arcana on the table, I feel like this can be delayed but not ultimately prevented. So let me give you the blessing that I'm giving for all the 12 signs this time. My guide said to do this. I'm allowed to play with it. This is only my 4th time doing it, so please take a nice deep breath. May all romantic soulmate contracts be brought in physical form, under grace and in perfect ways for the well-being of all, that all may heal, all may grow, all may experience the companionship, the healthy, happy, healthy, wealthy, wise, romantic soulmate contracts that we have worked on and with and through for lifetime after lifetime, and even in this life, partner after partner, that as we heal and grow and become the best that we can be, helping each other heal, the electromagnetic fields of the planet themselves are flooded with a love in a proportion and in a refinement that has not been seen on this planet before. The often leaded dysfunctional romantic paradigms being fully alchemized into gold. The gates of heaven are, after all, entered 2 by 2. But there are many gates and many mansions to walk as well. So may this Cancerian collective be blessed, and may all collectives be blessed with the meaning and the anchoring of the happy, healthy, wealthy, wise, intimate, sexual, satisfying soulmate contracts into physical form. May that be their reality sooner rather than later, and may they be guided all the way there for the well-being of all, and with harm to none, as we will it. So let it be done. So mote it be. And so it is. That's in case you're being bullied. We'll just bring everyone on planet Earth into this one. I hope you liked it. If you did like it, you want more, subscribe. Want to read my book? Check the link. Want a reading? Check the link. But really, if you are being bullied by people, places, or things, no, you're not alone there, but certainly reach out for help. And good God, what a very, very powerful read. Take the risk. Rescue yourself, damsel. This does feel like the two of you have something lovely ahead of you, because it's not much of a hero's journey without demons and dragons, and sometimes it comes in a mob. So wishing you all the very best and the very blessed, my beloved crab cakes. Hail, farewell, and blessed, blessed be.